So thank you for joining me today. And I'm going to talk about how do you know if you are low in a low or high vibration? So the simple answer is, of course, if you feel good, you are likely high vibration. And if you feel bad, chances are that you are low vibe. And for most of us, low vibrational states, just like stress, tend to creep up on us, right? You're just doing your thing, doing your best to manage as you're working through the day. You're putting out your fires, and don't realize what's happening, right? Until sudden you feel really bad or a headache starts to creep up. And so you don't always recognize that you're slipping into a low vibrational state. So I believe that it's super important to catch it as soon as you can and turn it around because the lower you go, the harder it can be to pull yourself back up, right? So when your vibe is going down, you will feel more resonant with low vibrational people, with news, low vibe conversations. You may feel drawn into gossip. You feel like, oh, I really want to enjoy putting somebody else down. So this can be about a colleague, somebody you know, or even a celebrity. Like that sort of gossip still has the same vibration, that frequency that's low. And then the shows you want to watch. You come home, you had a hard day, and then you typically want to watch TV shows where there's like murders or very dark, low vibrational topics. All those are signposts that you probably are kind of living in a low vibe state. And then, of course, people that are high vibration will annoy you. So if someone's really cheerful and positive, right, you're going to find them annoying, unrealistic, Pollyannish, all that stuff. Um, the other thing is the low vibe states also create physical aches and pains like headaches. Other disorders tend to manifest when you are low vibe. And you are in danger into, you are getting into the low vibe danger zone when you can no longer even remember or access information that would make you feel good or positive. Like everything just seems sort of dark, pessimistic. There's just no solution. The world is just going to hell. These are all signs that you've kind of really are starting to dip low. You don't even see the light, right? And you'll also tend to ruminate and think about repeatedly what's wrong in your life, how other people have offended you, have wronged you. You're going to be like, rolling grudges in your head, all that stuff. That's all like low vibe, and it tends to even continuing that pattern of thought will even pull you down more, right? Another big indicator of low vibes is how the world is mirroring you. And this is something that's really obvious. We all kind of know it, but we don't, somehow when we're low vibe, we don't realize it. So you're going out, right? Maybe you go to buy Starbucks or you're at work or wherever, and suddenly you feel like people around you are like just unfriendly. They're maybe grumpy. They're against you. Well, remember the world is a mirror, right? So it's a mirror of what's happening internally with you. So if that's happening, right, if everyone's just grumpy and just uncooperative and just terrible, that's probably how you're feeling about yourself. They're mirroring this, right? So let's end now, like press pause about the whole low vibe conversation, and let's shift into what happens when you're high vibe. So this is a whole different state. It's like a whole different reality, right? You will feel loving towards others, right? Because you feel love towards yourself, right? So that's going to reflect, you're going to feel loving towards others. You will not even hold grudges. You won't even remember them. All that stuff will seem sort of trivial and unimportant and whatever in the past. The other thing that's really cool when you're high vibe, you will see and perceive a world of possibilities, opportunities that you haven't even been able to access before, right? Suddenly it's like someone turned on a big light and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember this, or this is possible. Or suddenly the phone will ring and an opportunity or offer that you've been wanting is just going to be like handed to you. And you'll be like, oh, that's a funny coincidence. But it's not, right? You've attracted it. You sent out those frequencies via like the energetic field and you pulled them in. Now, another thing that's really cool, like if you have been struggling with a problem, right? You had a problem, you couldn't quite resolve it. Somehow, when you reach a certain level of high vibe, it will be resolved. Like either you will suddenly understand it, like lights in your brain will light up and you'll be like, oh, how did I not see this before? So you will either solve it yourself or the solution will come in from somewhere, somehow, maybe even quite unexpectedly, right? Your world seems bright, people are good. You're just constantly thinking, oh, isn't that wonderful? Look at my neighbors, look at what they're doing. And, just people are so good. It's a whole like polar opposite, right? People, circumstances are helpful, friendly, so wonderful, right? So obviously we want to be high vibe, right? We all want to be high vibe. So how do we get there when we recognize that we are low vibe? So the first thing is to admit that you are low vibe and put out the intention that you want to shift that. And why is that important? Why is that sort of a weird thing to even say? Because a lot of times when people get into like a low vibe, they get stubborn, right? It's almost like they get into this sort of a self-sabotage state where they just resist and fight anyone who wants to help them or even shed light on it, on the situation. So it's important to just rein in that sort of anger or frustration that's sort of like festering around you and just be humble and admit it. Like, yeah, I think I'm in a low place, right? Even to yourself. Then the next important thing, this is very simple, but it's super important. Ask your guides and angels for help to pull you up. This is the single most powerful thing you can do. Just get into a humble space, like, okay, I think I'm kind of low vibe. Ask for help. Say, I don't want to feel like this. I feel crappy. I feel angry. I feel frustrated. I don't want to feel like this. Please help me, right? You will almost feel an instant shift, like an instant easing of that heavy feeling. The next step is physical exercise. Get out there, like do yoga poses, brisk walk, run, whatever you like to do, clean. Somehow just cleaning is very therapeutic. But get that heart rate up, do something, and that will help you shake off those dark clouds off of your energetic field. You won't feel so oppressed, right? If possible, seek an energy healer to help you clear yourself out, right? Change that state. I can be that healer for you if you wish, or somebody that you know that you trust, right? Because a perpetual low vibe state can create a lot of issues. If it's sustained for a long time, right? If these are patterns, right? Like that you started to kind of be weighed down by these clouds of those dark thoughts, they can pull you down to the point where you can create depression, like a clinical depression, and also all sorts of physical ailments will follow. You definitely do not want to stay there in that state, right? So, and I'm going to tell you just a little quick story to illustrate how powerful those states can be and how much they can affect not only you, right, and how you feel in your state and your chances in life, but also like can affect others. So one of the things that I've noticed, right, is if I know someone and they're going through a really hard time, I will feel that, right? I will feel them, like their face comes up, and for some reason I'm feeling anger towards them. I feel like this sense of like heaviness and negativity that's hitting me when I think of this person. And I'm not even sure why. I'm like, why is that? I haven't even talked to them for a while. Why would I feel that way? So later on, maybe weeks or months later, that person would let me know that they were going through like a depression or a very difficult time where they were just down. So then I understood that I was actually picking up on that darkness, right? That perhaps that anger or they had with themselves. And I was feeling that anger towards them, right? And I never, of course, acted on it. I just kind of reflected on it and I didn't understand it. I didn't like feeling that like that. But I kind of understood what happened is that person was sending out like frequencies through the energetic field that I was picking up on because of my familiarity with them, right? Knowing their energetic signature. So the moral of the story is basically is you may think that like, well, I'm in a really bad place. I'm upset. I'm angry. I'm depressed, but I'm going to just shut myself and bunker down in my house and no one's going to know, right? And then I'm going to emerge when I'm better. That's not true, right? You keeping that low vibe state, right, is actually going to affect other people. Other people are going to feel that and they're going to feel a sense of negativity associated with you, right? And it's going to it's not going to help you, right? Like you're not going to create better relationships or even have people calling you and offering you good things, things that you want to manifest in your life because those signals are out in the field, with your signature. And I know it sounds kind of weird. So basically, I'm not saying you have to be like just smiling and Pollyanna like 24/7. Of course, you're going to feel bad sometimes, but seek help, work on dissolving, disintegrating that heavy feeling that will like pull yourself up as fast as you can, because the longer you stay in the higher state, the more wonderful your life will be, the better your relationships you'll have, the better things will turn out for you, right? All right, so I'm going to end. I'm trying to keep these little lives short and absorbable, so I'm not just kind of going on and on and on. Super excited about your feedback. Please keep it coming, and that will definitely let me know what topics you guys are interested in. So I will see you tomorrow is Sunday, so I will not be doing a live, but I will see you next week, Monday.